All right. Looks like we are live. All right, I'm just checking some things out here. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit because sometimes I like you to see the table and what I am actually doing. All right. All right. I'm just going to get started here in a second. Okay. Welcome, you guys. This is Patty Ron, Divine Warrior Intuitive. Today, happy new moon. Woo. Are we really happy about this new moon, though? There's a lot of things going on with it. Excuse me. It's really not the moon per se. It's all the planets that are happening around it. We've got definitely some retrogrades happening and beginning to happen, and I'll get into those a little bit. But for those of you that are new to my channel and have never watched me do a new moon reading or a full moon reading, so what I do is I explain a little bit about what the planets are doing and what that means to you for your energies and for everybody, because this is a collective type of reading. And then I'll go into a really quick reading, tarot reading. And the thing is, this is live because this is an interactive web channel. So all my readings are live usually and very interactive. I think it's really important to do that for you folks, especially if you're going through something or a challenge. So that's where that is. So I'm going to be going into a little bit about what the planets are doing, what the moon is doing. I'm not going to go into the detailed terminology because it sometimes even goes over my head as I continue to learn about astrology. I do numerology as well, and so I do that more in the tarot end to see what those numbers are doing and where they're affecting you. So we'll get going with that. So let's talk about this new moon that has just come in. So the new moon is actually, if you're in the United States, Pacific Standard Time, it is 5:51. So you'll get it tonight. That's why you'll see somebody say 6 to the 7th, that kind of a thing. So it just depends on where you are in the world, what is happening. The moon was in Leo yesterday, so it's now in Virgo, which very analytical, right? But it's really a good moon. It's trining your Uranus, which means that there's going to be a lot of breaking free, a lot of unblocking, that kind of a thing. This is going to be dependent on you, though, because of the other planets. It's sort of like a breakthrough time. So, right before, like yesterday and up until the new moon, we have what is called a waning moon, where we release and get rid of some of the old stuff. And as the new moon energies come in and they begin to change and move forward, that is called the waxing moon, where the abundance comes in. So, this might be a really mixed up emotional time because we've got positive and negatives always happening with all the planets. There's always something good about it and there's always something tough about it, because either they're opposing or they're squaring or they're trining or sextiling and all that kind of stuff. So when you hear me say some of those things, you can just let it go in one out the other. But the thing is to take away what these planets are doing and what they mean to you. Okay, so let me give you an example. Venus is squaring with Pluto. Woohoo, what does that mean, right? So it means it's a very uncomfortable time. It's very uncomfortable because you might have a lot of feelings come up. Because we have Venus and Pluto, two different characteristics, to bring something up, to bring something and break through. However, it might be uncomfortable. Okay, so this is one of the things that's going on that started yesterday. Venus and Pluto squaring happened yesterday. The one thing about that moving forward is today Mars trined Pluto. And what does that mean? This is really means that it is a really deep and powerful energy with Mars. Okay, so it is the time where you're going to feel that breakthrough. You're going to feel like a breath of relief going on. Now, for some of you, it might be the opposite, depending on your sign. Okay, but the thing is, why is this sort of a difficult, mixed up energy time? Because of the new moon, because of the planets that are happening and trining and squaring. And we also have what is called a trampoline pattern going on with some of the planets. And that means that um, it your breakthrough will come with more being vulnerable and sharing your feelings and your thoughts, because it's a breakthrough to actually get more clarity or give more clarity or get more clarity from someone, and this actually grows the bond even deeper. So it's very, very uncomfortable. It's like the number 5, it's very uncomfortable, it's unstable, it's not anything like that. That kind of a thing. But on the upside of it, it is a perfect time to plant positive seeds of encouragement that work, that are going to be useful. They're in useful intentions of what you want to do, what you want to go for, those kind of a things. It's a really good time for that. That new moon energy, and opposing the sun, this is a really good time for you to pick something, plant the seed, and work with it, and bring it to fruition. Okay, this is a really good time for that. Okay, during this time though, between today and tomorrow, 6th and 7th, Mercury ends up opposing Chiron. What does that mean? Mercury's all about communication, right? So it's really, really, really important, if you have the courage to confront or bring something up without any blaming, taking responsibility for your part in whatever it is, this is the time to clear the air. This is where that breakthrough kind of thing has happened. But it's really, really important that if you're going to communicate during 6th, 7th, 8th, that kind of a time, because Mercury is super, super strong. It's a very slow moving planet, and we're getting ready to actually move into a retrograde. A couple different retrogrades, and some other planets are in a retrograde. Um, but this would be a really good healing time for you guys. This is all the signs, but the whole main crux of it is not to blame. You have to take the blame off. So you have to look up your part, and that's going to really be really, really healing. However, it's going to bring more balance back into things, mind, spirit, body. It's going to bring more balance, but it's going to be really hard, because you're going to want to, this mixed energy is going to want to maybe blame or point fingers or things like that. You don't want to do that. You just don't want to do that. So definitely, definitely is going to be a really strong one. And I say the 7th through the 9th, or somewhere around there, but probably the 7th through the 8th are going to be really, really strong. These are good times to communicate. The other thing too is we need to listen to both sides. We got to get the facts from both sides of the story. We cannot just go by one side of the story. And that's prevalent a lot in the world right now, especially vaccines. You're hearing one thing, one thing, one thing. You need to get both sides of the story. You really need to do your own research. And especially now in this day and age, I don't know why this is coming through, but for somebody who needs to be taking care of their body, becoming sort of not their own doctor, but doing your research before you, and not Googling it and say, I have this. No, I have symptoms of this. Could it be this? You need to get the facts of both sides of the story, because maybe it's not. A lot of the times you go to the doctor, and doctors hate Google, because you try to pre-diagnose yourself, and then when you get to the doctor, it's like not even that. So really, really knowing and doing your research and seeking out both sides of the story, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be work. Maybe the boss is telling you to do something and you don't want to do it, or you don't understand why they're having you do it, or somebody doing that in that way. Find out, get the clarity, get both sides of the story. All right. We're in, I'd say, September 10th, not too much happening until about the 14th. Okay. Just a little bit more confusion in relationships, because nobody, I don't want to say nobody. There's going to be a little bit more confusion from the 10th to the 14th, because Mercury still is strong. And if you don't want to get the clarity in your relationship, whatever it is, whether you're a friend, a family, lovers, whatever, if you don't want to get clarity in that, then there's going to be a lot of mixed signals, mixed signs in your relationships, and that goes up until the 14th. Okay. Um, let me see. Yeah, the 13th definitely. Yeah, to the 14th, because there's disruptive energies not only with Mars um, moving into Libra, but we've got Venus moving into Scorpio. Very disruptive, very strong energies. Um, and then the things that we sometimes, again, this is where clarity is going to be really important, not only with the new moon, but through up to the full moon, is that and we see this in your readings a lot, what seems to be is not. So that is why you want to get more clarity on that. Okay. Um, it's just this whole time until the full moon, and even through the full moon, is going to be sort of miscommunication. Things are going to be fuzzy, things are going to be clear. So it's going to be really important for yourself to build that strength to stand up and keep your boundaries, but also to be articulate, be clear. And when somebody has that fog face and they're like, huh? Then you really need to be more clear and more eloquent in what you need to do to get your words across. All right. Let's see. Definitely yeah, through the 14th, that's going to be all sort of muddled because we've got Venus in Scorpio. We definitely have Mars in Libra. Then we have Venus moving, squaring Saturn. And Jupiter, oh my gosh, Jupiter is, there's 4 planets that are sextiling, and that's the they're doing half sextiles, and that is what we call the trampoline. And that's what really, there's 2 times that's happening in this month. And what does that mean to you? It just means that things are beginning to flow. And which way? I don't know. That depends on you, depends on your sign, depends on your energies, which way it's going to flow. Either going to flow low to low vibrational, you're going to go up. More positive you stay, the more joyful and filled with good things, happy things, then definitely that is going to help you in the long run to keep your vibrations moving up. Okay. And then on the 16th, 17th, again, we just have sort of repeat patterns. There's a positive, optimistic side. There is a low vibrational, like fighting that positiveness, a lot of mixed emotions, a lot of fuzzy communication again until the full moon on the 20th. Okay. So, and hypothetically, the biggest thing I would say is get clarity on everything and get both sides of the story. Okay, this is just really important. Things might seem to be moving more rapidly because this flow with these 4 with the 2 trampoline patterns, things might be seeming to move more rapidly. But the reason that it might be moving more rapidly and more in a positive way is more self awareness. So we're getting more and more self aware of the things we like, the things we don't like, more self aware of what our boundaries are, more self aware of what our spirituality is. Our mind, spirit, body, that kind of a thing. This is a really good awakening time for some, and that in the awakening they're going to get clear minded, they're going to have clarity, they're going to be more their authentic self. Okay, and to become your authentic self, because you definitely want to become your authentic self. Okay, that means the real you, not somebody that you grew up that they wanted you to be, a ballerina or whatever, and your personal spirit, your soul got smushed. Okay, so the new moon is not as exciting this time, although it has a lot of positiveness in it and a lot of forward movement, a lot more flow in it. It's just because of what's happening with the planets around. Okay, get ready. We're in a Mercury retrograde too coming up through October, I think it is. Did I put that down? I don't even remember if I put that down. I think Mercury squares Pluto. When does it go into retrograde? I can't remember. Yeah, September 26th goes into retrograde. Okay, so when we have what that means is, um, I'll just go into that a little bit because a lot of people don't understand what a retrograde is. It's when the planet sort of stops and looks like it's going backwards and it's not. And direct means that it changes, it begins to change course. But the thing is, you got to look at the slower moving planets because they're more powerful. When you get into a retrograde, that means that the planet is really slowing down. And when that does it, it gains power. It's like a battery revving up. And what is Mercury about? Communication. So it's very hard to express. And so there's a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of kerfuffles, arguing and bickering and those kind of things. And that's coming from September 26th through October 18th. Okay, so it's a little bit shorter retrograde, yay, because some of these retrogrades can last 3 months. So you always hear people talk about Mercury retrograde because it is a really, really difficult time for everybody. Okay, because it's hard in communication. And then we'll go into the full moon and the retrograde and everything like that in the next full moon reading. But just know that these energies are good. They're moving forward. They're going to start to flow. It's your path and your journey which way you want them to flow. There's been a lot of low vibrational readings, as you've seen in the last couple of weeks. I think that has to do with the planets that are slow moving or becoming more powerful. And it's going to take self-awareness, self-discipline, self-love to really, really focus in on what it is you want. You're going to really have to focus in on um, your authentic self and really what you really, really want. And it's not only the new moon energies and Saturn and Venus and Mars, that's in the, especially Mercury with this one, and we're getting ready for that retrograde. But it's really important for yourself to never jump to a conclusion, because a lot of the times we're wrong and we don't understand the other person's perspective or their journey or why they're doing things like that. So that's going to be really important as we move through September because of all the communication issues and strains. This is a time to be vulnerable. If somebody says something you don't like, or you don't like that person and they say something, rather than being aggressive and angry and bitter, find out what it is. Well, why do you think that way? I'm just curious. Where does this thought process come from? Where is this that you think this? Because that's going to take you back and find out where their childhood is, or who taught them this. So be mindful of that through September. Be more graceful. Be more empathetic, I guess, is what we really, really need in September because of the communication issues. Hey, Abigail, welcome. Oh, we always worry about our future, but the future changes. It depends on how your energies and how you act. Your future could hold brightness, but it's all about your mind process and your thinking and how it will outcome. Definitely. But I don't worry about it. I really don't, because I live more spiritually and I go by day. I do sort of plan things a little bit, things that I enjoy, the things that are going to bring my vibrations up, because there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be turns and twists that divine throws in, or the lower vibration throws in, to see how I'm going to handle it, and if I'm going to trust in the second dimension and divine, or am I going to try to handle it myself. So that, your future, you can manifest a lot, but it's where you place your source. Does that make sense? So because here's the thing, let me teach you something real quick, and hopefully anybody else watching or watches this recording will help you in your future. Is that, oh, they're trying to knock me out of that? No, you're not going to lose that. Is you have to know where your source is. No, it's not bad to wonder, but it is bad to stay focused there too much. because then that becomes a what do you call that? That becomes a, not an idol, but it becomes too much in your forefront of your thought process, and then it blocks some chakras from being open. But the thing is, know where your source is. Okay, let me give you an example. A lot of people come to tarot and think that is their source, that is their answer, that is, you know, and or they go to a psychic or a palm reader or whoever, and they believe that that is the source. It is not the source, it is the resource of what we are actually using. But the source is the second dimension, that is divine, God. People believe the universe is a source. However, this universe goes by vibrations and frequencies. Divine or a higher power, angelic realm, those kind of things, they go by feelings, emotions, our destiny, our path, our journey, our a purpose, and our calling. So as I do my tarot, I'm going to be doing a video on this probably in the next couple of weeks, is that when you go to tarot, you got to know what kind of tarot you want to go to, because you got to know if that person that is reading the tarot is connected to the second dimension. Because the second dimension, God, if you want to call universe, whatever you want, but I go to God. And that second dimension, that divine, is my source. Because that is where my intuition comes, that's where my spirit comes, that's who protects, that's who guides, that's who shows, that's all kind of thing like that. But this is the telephone. This is a resource. Anything on this earth is a resource. Does that make sense? So your future depends on where your source is. If you think that you're doing, I have a lot of clients that are not past clients, but people that I also know that think that they're getting everything due to their power of themselves. And it's not. It's actually your spiritual self inside that is helping you actually obtain your future or whatever it is. So you can have a really, really bright future, but you got to pull from a second dimensional source. Because if you go this way, and divine wants you to go this way, you're off the wrong path. That is why you have to know your spirit. That's why you have to be able to know your intuition and that kind of a thing. And that's what I teach. Thinking about it is powerful, but saying it even makes it more powerful, yes, because you bring it to life. Here's the other thing too, is if you think about it, divine can hear it. If you don't speak it, low vibrational energies, devil, whatever you want to call it, can't hear it. So if you speak it, then the adversary can come in and try to stop it. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. All right. But I'm getting off track here. I'm supposed to be doing a new moon reading. Anyway, I could keep talking like that. Sure. Always. Be really, really, really careful going into them. Some of those energies you don't want to get mixed into. You really do not want to get mixed into those energies. Again, going back to the source and going back, this is why I do a lot of research. I watch a lot of tarot readers. And the reason why is I don't watch them to get the message. I watch to see how they handle it and where their source is coming from, or do they even have a connection? There's a lot of tarot readers out there that they say they're psychic, they do this kind of stuff, and I'm not poo-pooing anybody. I'm not even going to put any names out there or anything, but they have no connection with divine. They have no connection. I hear, I feel, I'm an empath. I feel energies. It's crazy, and I don't understand it and how it happens, but you've got to know that that source is of a high light, of a high energy, that it's protected through light and things like that. So you got to be really, really careful. Yeah, and see, the thing is, you'll hear tarot people talk about, when I buy a deck, I've had to sell decks as soon as I got them. there's an energy. In fact, my daughter and I were sort of joking because it seems like any Egyptian deck I pick up has a low vibrational energy, and I won't buy another Egyptian deck. I love the look, but I won't. It's like twice. I also had a client, or not a client, a viewer actually tell me I was in a rut in Disney World. I forgot my cards, didn't have my cards, and there was a booth, and so surprisingly a tarot booth, and I bought a couple of decks, and I was like, oh, this has got an interesting energy. Okay, I'll buy this. And I did, and I got home. I couldn't resonate with the deck. And then I had a viewer email me and say, do you know the story behind that deck? And it was a dark story. This is the thing, even you've got to know when you buy tarot decks, what is the backdrop of the author, what is the backdrop of the illustrator, that kind of a thing as well. Okay, because again, just like the new moon energies, just like all these energies, you need clarity. You've got to look on both sides of the coin. That's why you're going to see me use a lot of the same artist and author. Plus, I love her work, and the illustrator, because the divine is saying, no, I don't want that deck. I don't want this deck. I want you to stay with this pattern, which is a very positive, uplifting, motivational, and that's what my tarot is. There's many, many kinds of tarot. There's modern tarot, traditional tarot. There's guidance, as far as like spiritual guidance. There's like mine is motivational, gets you through your struggles, your challenges, that kind of a thing. And so people really need to be aware of what type of tarot they're watching or places you're going into. I feel energy. So if something feels, I won't even go in. I won't even touch anything. I won't. Mm-mm. We went into a restaurant one time and we were going to eat there. And we both, my daughter and I, because she has sort of the same thing, and we looked at each other and we're like, I don't get a good feeling in here. So we left. So we went back another time. The energy was completely different. So something was just really off about that night with that. All right. So let's go get back to the I could tell you lots of interesting stories. And if you want to hear some fun and interesting stories about paranormal and supernatural, in the playlist, I think it's called Paranormal, there's some of my experiences with the other side, put it that way. And a lot of fun, but also too, it tells the story how my intuition began, and the story of Costco. If you listen to the story of Costco, then that is really, I guess everybody says it's very interesting. And I thought I was going crazy at that time. Literally, I thought I had to go see a psychiatrist because I literally thought I was going crazy. But what was happening is my abilities were just blowing and exploding up, and I couldn't control them. And I didn't know what was happening until finally I talked to somebody that explained it. And it's like, oh, really? Is that really what's happening to me? And I thought, I'm going crazy, right? Nope, nope, I'm not. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you did too. I'm glad you did too. So, with this new moon, I'm going to pull just one oracle because it's really important to get the energies of the new moon, but it's also really important to get this from Mars and Venus and Pluto and all these things that are squaring and trining and stuff. So I don't get this one very often. So I'm just going to read it. It's also the number 11, which is a master number in numerology, but it is also the number 2. It could be number 2. So it's sort of like a really important spiritual meaning. And this is again your self-awakening during this new moon. Okay. So this is the sacred reverence. Remember, I talked to you about self-awareness and things just a few minutes ago. So let's see what the author has to say, because I don't remember, to be honest, and I don't want to be unfair to her. So it says, looking at the world, do you see all of the life or only just a limited part? When you look at the blade of grass, do you see just a plant? When you encounter a puppy, do you just see an animal? While while this categorizing is one way of viewing the world, it is a fraction of the truth. And I'll tell you about truth here in a second if you're new. It isn't enough. Look closer and you'll observe the luminosity, imminent, I can't speak, in these living beings. If you can allow yourself to take in all of the world, including the spirit, then you will see the whole. Okay, so really, and I could read on more and more, but in all reality, we have to do this with the new moon and everything. When you look at the moon, you just see the moon. When you look here and think about the planets, we just got to see Jupiter and Saturn with our eyes last month. It was so spectacular. Did you get to see it? I did. I don't know if I posted a video, but it was amazing to see these two planets. But when you see the planets, do you just think, oh, they're planets? Do you think oh, they're just up there in the sky? This is the spiritual part of you that actually looks beyond that. That is looking at, that blade of grass or that puppy had to start out somewhere, and to look at the beautifulness of it and the spirit of it. If you look at the moon, it's amazing. It's just hanging there. How does that work? Isn't that so cool? Look at the galaxies, Saturn, and how does those rings just stay there? It's just amazing when you look deeper and deeper. This is the new moon energy, guys. This is the Mercury energy where you've got to go deeper. Remember, they said in the very beginning when I was talking about you need to be vulnerable. You need to be able to open up. You need to be able to communicate your spirit and your soul. And that brings the bond even closer. It brings you into more appreciation. If this is a relationship for you, it's not only going to grow that bond closer, it's going to grow in appreciation and gratitude and thankfulness, because now you understand a little bit better, a little bit clearer. So the card for the new moon is definitely the sacred reverence. And I agree with that because it's the number 11. This is a master number. It's sort of like getting to the deep heart of your source, like we were just talking about, Abigail. This is about getting to your source. This is really getting deep down and looking at it and analyzing it. And that's why this new moon's in Virgo. You're analyzing, you're digging deep, you're finding out the answers and that kind of a thing. All right. So let's do a little bit of a collective reading and see what's going on with all the signs for this next couple of weeks until the full moon. Definitely, I think that we'll see if the wands come up a lot. Because wands are all about communication, also about travel too, but definitely more about your communication and your relationships in that sense. So if you've watched this far, it would be really helpful if you hit the like, share, and subscribe button while I pop this out here. It's greatly appreciated, especially the likes, because YouTube looks at the likes. Whenever you watch anybody, YouTube looks at the likes to help share the video out more. And the less likes, they don't share it. So it's like us, especially us smaller channels, we're fighting against the bigger channels, but also too, if we don't get a lot of likes, then we stay little and small. I don't care how big I grow. Honestly, I'm just here to help. I'm here to uplift and help people with their perseverance, resilience, life, their journeys, their callings, and all that kind of stuff. That's what my tarot is about. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. New energies. Yes, this is new energies. Definitely new energies. We've got the Fool straight out. This is all about new energies, a light energy. It's got some pureness to it, so there might be something new coming up in this next couple of weeks that is sort of new. Again, mixed energies again here, guys, because we've got the Death card and it's looking at it. It's looking at the Fool card. The Death card just means that something's ending. Okay. It's the number 13, which is the number 4, which brings more stability, more balance into your life. So that's hopefully going to be happening. But the Fool here is for somebody, there's either a new energy coming in, a new person, a new job. I don't see any pentacles, so I don't think it's a job. We've got one pentacle in here, and that's the end. That's your challenge card. But this definitely is a new energy. It could be a younger person. Maybe you're going to be helping that person in some way or another. But definitely, we've got the Death card, something ending and something beginning. And these two cards are together. So I'll get more clarity on that here in a minute. We have the Four of Wands, definitely about a celebration. Definitely things are going to be coming up that are going to be really happy, but man, it's like we're going from happy, struggle, happy, struggle, happy, struggle. That's the energies, definitely. But this has to do with communication and what you want. Okay. It's sort of like you're almost fighting yourself, because we have the Four of Wands and then we have the Eight of Swords. When we have the Eight of Swords, it's just sort of like, somebody keeps going to the past. So if you're in this new moon energy, and Mercury is taking over and speaking, diffuse the arguments, diffuse it, because if you're starting to argue, diffuse, walk away, say, hey, let's take a break from this, let's not get all angry, because we have the Five of Swords again. And that is about standing up for what you believe in. That is standing up for yourself, your boundaries, and things like that. We want to do it in love. We don't want to do it in fear. Don't be fearful, because if you're vulnerable and you share something, and somebody gets really defensive, there's something wrong with that. Is that they're fearful about something, or they're hiding something. Don't be mindful of that. I don't know who that's for, but when you're going to be talking to somebody, now this is in the middle of your spread, so this could be somebody maybe in the next week or two. That's not like it today or tomorrow. Could be, but I really don't think so. These new moon energies last till the 9th. So it could be around the 9th or 10th, somewhere around there. We're in that frame, that middle part of it before the full moon again. But you're definitely fighting and standing up for yourself. The other thing about this is that we've got the Queen of Cups energy right here. What does that mean to you? Is that, again, we have to be looking towards the deeper meaning of something and listening to our intuition. Because as soon as we stop listening to our intuition, we actually block the second dimension, because that's our telephone. It's sort of like when you're in a crossroads and you hear this nudge saying that you should go this way or don't go that way, but you ignore it. So you just basically said to the second dimension and divine, screw you, I know better than you. And they're like, okay, let's see you go that way. And then you have trouble and your things aren't working out right. And you're like, ah, crap, I should have went the other way. So then you go back to the center and you go the other way. And divine's up there just like, yeah, see, I told you. You think you know it all. You don't. And that's this energy here. Okay. I think that's more of Pluto's energy. This is more paying attention, more in depth. The Mercury, trying to create a kerfuffle here. Definitely trying to make the communication hard. But if you listen to your heart and listen to your intuition, it's going to steer you right, because then you're looking deeper into what it is. And again, we're in this Virgo energy. And Virgos, let me tell you, I'm a Virgo, and sometimes we can be too analytical in our head and not really listen to our heart. Okay. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is your challenge card. So the reason why it's a challenge card, I'm going to get a clarification on that, because that's the only pentacle in here. So the reason why is it's facing your Queen of Cups. Something's coming towards your Queen of Cups, testing your, testing your intuition. Something is going to come to you testing your intuition, and it may have something to do with your work. It may have something to do with your money, may have something to do with whatever it is, but it's going to test it. That's that low vibrational. So like Abigail was saying before, if you speak, it becomes more powerful. That's when the adversary can hear, but he can't hear your thoughts. Only divine, only the other side of the light can hear your thoughts. That would be like, your archangels, your guardian angels, or whatever you believe in. That higher power, not lower vibration, can hear. However, lower vibration cannot. You have to speak it. And as soon as you do it, that's why words are so powerful. And they say, be careful what you say. And also because, people start thinking low vibrational, low energy, I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. All these low vibrational lies that you tell yourself, those have power. And then you begin to train your brain in a lower vibrational, lower spiraling down rather than spiraling up. And I'm not going to get into coaching, but that's just the way that works. That's the way your brain works. That's why a lot of us are broken in the sense of we were trained wrong as little, you know. And like I think I have some videos down below, but like when I did the sexual abuse videos, the series, I was trained completely wrong as a child, and that carried into my adulthood. And I think that's in the series part 1. I tell my story, but it also trained me in a really low vibrational way that brought me into a life of spiraling down until I finally got kicked in the pants by Divine and said, "You done yet?" And I'm like, "I don't even know I was doing things wrong." And then boom, a big movie comes and shows you what is going on. If you have a relationship with Divine, you will know if it's you or your head. Okay? You will know. It could be your same voice, but you will know. A lot of the times it's your same voice, although my mother's voice came through. Really, I don't know if I put that in the paranormal, but that was really something. That was my first time of ever hearing somebody deceased from the beyond. That was a very emotional thing to hear my mom. But we had made a pact before she passed. If there was any way to communicate when she passed on, to please try to communicate. And she did. So there is life after here. If somebody doesn't want to believe that, go right ahead. That's your thing. But boy, I have witnessed to it. So there is more than what we really can understand or believe. All right. But you definitely will know, Divine, because it's going to be more of, hello, Nat. Is it Nat? I'll always pronounce things wrong. I apologize. If I saw your face, though, I'd remember it for forever. But the thing is that you will understand, it will come in, and you'll hear tarot readers or even people, I got a download. I call them plop thoughts. So it just all of a sudden comes in. You'll hear me say thank you sometimes because it's like it's something that just pops in. And it's in at the weird timing, put it that way. Okay. And then also too, Divine doesn't only do it in voice, he'll do it in a sign, a confirmation, or you'll be thinking about something, sort of like how the stupid people that watch us on our computers and we don't know it, and then all of a sudden you're thinking about buying a laptop, and then you go on your Facebook and here's all these laptop things, and you didn't even type in laptop. You didn't even go to Amazon and look up laptop, but all of a sudden you're seeing laptops and stuff. Or you're talking about something really weird and that pops up. It's like, okay, who's listening? But it might be a sign or something of that nature that all of a sudden, or you can ask for confirmation. Is this you? Is this you, Divine, or is this, because you want to be careful, because if you spoke something, it could be the adversary. Okay. But also too, you can ask for confirmation. I would always, when you're starting to learn, whatever you're starting to learn, if this is something new to you, always ask for confirmation. Yeah, definitely. This is definitely, these next 2 weeks is about getting in touch with your self-awareness, your self-talk. Again, getting clarity on what it is that you want to do, where you want to go, listening to your intuition. Somebody is not being themselves. I don't know who it is out there, but they're not being themselves. They're not being their authentic self. And this is where they're not listening. And this is where, it is talking about to look deeper within. That is the Mars energy. That is the Pluto energy that we really want to be paying attention to. Okay. Because this is definitely, it's number 11. And okay, I can't make this stuff up, guys. If you look at them, okay, we've got 47 is number 11. We've got the number 2, which is number 11. This is definitely a message from Divine. please pay attention to some new energies that are coming around you, and making sure, because we got the Fool in the very beginning, we want to make sure that this energy that wants to come in your circle is of a higher light. It is not manipulative. It doesn't want anything for itself. It doesn't want anything of that nature, because you have death right next to it. That's that mixed energy I was telling you, the positive, the negative, high vibrational, low vibrational. There's something wanting in. Be careful not to do it. It could also be this arguing that somebody is going through to get more clarification, because somebody is definitely living in the past. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Too much in your head. Definitely too much in your head. Okay. Just can't sleep, and you're putting everything, somebody's got a problem and they're so focused on the problem they cannot see the solution. This is that energy that's flowing, the energy of the planets and the new moon flowing, but you're stopping the flow because you're so focused in on the problem that you cannot look out and see the solution. Again, it's looking at the deeper part of it and how we can make it continue to flow. All right, spiritually, not worldly. Okay, so you have to search your heart, and that's about empathy and caring and compassion and love of self before you can love others. This is loving another person and trying to figure them out and get down deep. That's that Virgo energy, getting down deep and analyzing and getting their perspective so that you can actually love them even more. Okay, all right. Whew. All right, let's see what else we got going. You know what? I'm going to change decks, and then, what was that? I heard something. That was weird. I don't have anything up that would alert me. Huh. Interesting. Okay, I want to get clarification on this Knight of Pentacles, because it is facing, I think that somebody is, well, the Knight of Pentacles. You're being tested is all I keep hearing. It's a test. It's a test. It's a test. So whatever you're being tested in, really go to spirit, go to the sacred reverence to get your answer, or to ask for protection. I'm hearing protection. Okay. I don't know what that's for. Hello, Tyra. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. You're not too late. Oh, of course, you're in the list. I don't really have a list. I just let everybody do their thing. And if it's in relation to what we're talking about, definitely I talk about it. But yes. Okay, you guys, you're being tested. So this is your challenge card. This is how well you're going to pass the test. Okay, because it is about your intuition. So these next couple of weeks, really pay attention to that little nudge inside you, that little voice maybe you hear, or like, man, this doesn't feel right. 2 + 2 is not equaling 4, because you're going to have the choice to make something. You're going to have a choice to make decision. And this is however you manifest it, however you pass this test. You never fail a test, by the way. It's like that video I did on the low vibrational words to get rid of in your life is can't, fail, and try. Because you cannot fail in anything. I hate that word so much. They're lessons. These are lessons. You learn something, whether you should go that way or do it again or not do it again. You learn that you're stronger at something or you're weaker at something, but there is no failure. And I hate that when people say, oh, you're going to fail, or I failed it. No, you didn't. You learned a lesson that, okay, like me, math. I suck at math because that's my weakness. I learned that I didn't pass the test because, one, my brain doesn't work in that way. I needed extra help if I needed to go into something that was going to do math. But I didn't fail. The only time we fail is we fail ourselves in trying to grow and live a healthy, prosperous, balanced life, mind, spirit, and body. when we start doing destructive stuff and we allow it, when we allow toxic stuff into our life and we allow it, when we allow people to be rude and mean to us and things like that, we are loving creatures, and that's what we should be giving off. That's what the manifestation part is. All right. But there is going to be that. And the thing is, your intuition is going to be tested, and you probably will need to reach out for some type of wisdom. Now, that doesn't mean knowledge. The emperor is about earthly knowledge. Wisdom is spiritual from divine. And that's the thing is, oh, you're very wise. People say, oh, you're very wise. Well, I pull my information. It's not me that's wise. I'm getting the information from the other side. So that's not me. I'm the conduit. My daughter hates hearing me say that. Oh, you always say that. You're always the conduit. That's how I am. That's how I am a conduit. I'm passing the information. I'm just telling the information of what I've been taught, what I've been shown, what I've lived through, all that kind of stuff, and what divine says about it. Divine is absolute truth anyway. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. Okay, so you're going to be tested. Definitely, this is about self-awareness. There is somebody's fighting. Gosh, in the center of this. But you know what? The fights, whoever's fighting or arguing or not getting along with somebody, it's because somebody's living in the past. And you cannot move forward if you're going to live in the past. How do you do that? How do you do that? You know, I just had this conversation with a guy, a friend of mine. And I said, you know what? You're not really going to be happy in love because you always compare to your ex. And every single woman that you meet may have a wonderful potential, but then you bring all this pain into it from what happened to you with the ex, expecting that that's going to happen again. So how you gonna win and move forward? You won't. I can't. I'm going to keep repeating myself here because this is, again, we have the Hierophant. He got the two highest powers ever, the Hierophant and the High Priestess. Okay. Hierophant, of course, is divine. Hierophant is actually 2021 card of the year. This is the year of spiritual awakening. This is growing more self-aware of a higher power. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Three of Swords. Again, pain, hurt, keep bringing it up, keep happening. You know, once you guys put something with Mercury, this is going to be really important with Mercury and the new moon up until the full moon. If you guys have had a conversation with somebody and, you argued about it, you fight about it, you got the elephant out of the room for that day and everything, you need to leave the elephant out of the room. You can't keep bringing it up because it just reopens old wounds. It just keeps rehashing it, and it's done, it's over, it's in the past, let it go. But no, there's a lot of people out there that keep bringing it up over and over and over and over again. This is that Mercury, what is it? Mercury and Pluto fighting. It's just, so you've got to really let it go. And you look to the higher power again. For somebody, it's going to be new because the higher Hierophant is the number 5. And the number 5 is about not being comfortable, being unstable. Something new is really not, energy is just, it's like a novice. It's like you're uncomfortable with it until you get used to it. All right. Tyra, you're seeing it because you're paying attention to that. The only thing difference is the 1111 is the master number. Okay. And when you see 1111, that is sort of you, when you see those kind of numbers, double numbers or whatever, but especially 1111, that is time for you to stop, pay attention to what you're thinking about. And maybe divine is trying to share something to move positive away from that, or he's trying to open a door to the spiritual or the second dimensional realm to look at that and where that is in your journey, and if it's time to close that season and move on. Because if an X is an X, that's an X for a reason. And so the divine can't open a new door if you keep holding on to an old door. So 1111 is where you stop for a second wherever you are. It happens a lot in people's work. They'll all of a sudden look, or they'll look over to, laying in bed. Oh, it's 1111. Well, what is your thought process during that time? It's not an odd coincidence. There is no odd coincidences at all. There is a reason for everything that does happen. Okay. And this again is the Mercury energy where you have to get clarity. If you really want to know, you need to get clarity. Why did you move your account from private to? This is where it's going to take some gonads. This next couple of weeks is going to take gonads for everybody to say, okay, why did you do that? Why did you move it from private to public? You know, yeah. But the thing is that I hope that wasn't a bad word. Work is work, we all have it. But the thing is, and we all work on ourselves. But the thing is, we have to get gonads to ask and get clarity in these next couple of weeks. That is the new moon. That is energies of Mercury, Mars, Pluto, Venus, all this kind of stuff. It's in our relationships. It's in our work. It's in our families and things like that. So definitely, pay attention. That's for anybody. What happens what are you doing when you see 1111? A lot of people might see 333. Okay, 333, it has a lot to do with many different things, but a lot of acknowledging something. What is it that you need to be acknowledging and sometimes putting on the back burner? We're getting ready to go into the waxing moon, so you want that abundance. In order to have that abundance, like we talked for the last week, is we are in the waning moon, have to get rid of something. Put the old out, let the new in. Okay, so I don't think it's odd at all. Oh, I see. At work. It happens a lot at work. A lot of the times it happens like if you've gone to bed early, you wake up and it's 11:11. There for a while when I was at work, I would see 1:11. I would see all the time, and I wouldn't even just see it because of my job. I would see it in my papers. I would see it, all over the place. And it was because Divine was saying, "Hang on, I'm working, hang on," because I really was stressed out from the job. But he's like, hang on, I'm working. He's working in the dark. He's working below the where you can't see. He works his best in the dark. And lo and behold, because of COVID, I got let go and I could see what he was doing immediately. But you have to release and surrender and let go. That is the key to finding out what's going on with that 1111. Yeah, yeah. So then you guys are very, very young yet. Yeah, you're very, very young yet. So just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Focus in on your own life, your own awareness, your own things that you need to be doing. And let me tell you, if Divine is going to have that person come back in your life, he will on his timing, not yours. But the thing is, what are you doing with your time in the interim? What are you doing with your time while you're, figuring things out? Because you might have a better person out there that you have no clue about. You have no clue about. All right. But for everybody else, I got to wrap this up because I've got an appointment to go to. But definitely this new moon, these energies here, newness is coming in. There's a flow coming in that's going to be up to you guys. If you're high vibrational, that flow is going to be positive and good. But if you're negative, that flow low vibrational, you got to pull your pants up and turn it around to a positive. Otherwise, you're going to be spinning around like a cotton candy machine. Woo, 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 like that kind of a thing. You don't want to be. You want to be growing, 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 growing. You definitely want to be growing. And this newness that's coming in here, again, you guys, it's all about communication the next 2 weeks. Really take your time to be patient, to listen, to get both sides of the story. Don't get mad. Don't get bitter. Just settle down so that you can communicate. And if you can't communicate, then what you want to do is diffuse it and come back when you both, if you start yelling, it's gone, it's done. I don't yell anymore. I don't need to yell. What's the purpose of yelling? I don't get that. Unless I'm talking too loud, which my daughter says, "You're talking so loud." But maybe my hearing's going. I don't know. All right. And each time we reconnect, one. Um, yeah, you know what though? Be careful of that, hon. I'm going to talk to you as a coach right now because a lot of the times young boys, I hate to say it, and don't, if you're a guy out there, sorry, but I'm sharing your game. Young boys will actually keep you around if you are giving him anything emotional or physical, and they'll keep coming back just for that. So be really, really careful because until they get into a mature age, then they think differently. But a lot of the times, most of these young guys are into games and it doesn't matter, and they're thinking with the wrong head, you know? And so be really, really mindful and not to give anything. Not to give anything, and you'll see how fast they'll go away if that's really what they were after. Okay. But be really mindful. You guys are young. You have a lot. I think Divine's got somebody really, really special for you. I really do. I really think somebody's coming your way in the future. You're so young yet. You're babies. I'm old. My birthday is this month, guys. I will tell you guys and you guys only. I'm not going to repeat it again. I'm going to be 62. I'm having troubles with that. Anyway, all right. So I really appreciate all of you guys coming on. Thank you so, so much. I love the interaction. I love the contact. I hope something you were able to walk away with this new moon and the planets. I will say that the new moon is not as exciting as what's going on with the planets, and there's just going to be a lot of mixed energies. It's moving, things are flowing, but you got to be really mindful in which way you want them to flow because you're going to be able to manifest that. Okay, that's your choice in which way you're going to manifest that. Get some answers, get some wisdoms. Anybody going through anything, and if you're really struggling with something, email me because I'm free. You know, I don't do this for money. This is to help. So, but I do ask that you please hit the like button, smash it, smash it, smash it, and share if this is something that you think somebody else can be helped with. And then don't forget to subscribe. I love those little subscriptions. I watch it every day and it's like, oh wow, this is fun. This is cool. But that's not my goal is not to focus in on that. My focus is on you guys and building a relationship and community with you guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Makes my day. So I hope you guys this is for the next couple of weeks. Full moon is on the 20th. I will do a full moon reading. I am heading out of town. Hey, Tanya, welcome, welcome. How are you? I am great. I am fantastic. You're just catching the tail end. You're going to have to go back and watch it. I am going to Oklahoma here at the end of the week for 4 days. I should have your readings all done. Those will be coming up here this week. And so you'll see me on live quite a bit this week. So I'm going to try to get on earlier. I don't know where everybody is in the United States or around the world. I am going to try to get on earlier because I have so many things coming up. All right. And hopefully I get to go see and touch some elephants and bears and I get to feed them. I get to stand next to them. Oh, the energies are going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. All right. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. And please, again, don't be shy and hit that like button, share, or subscribe. And if you want to know when I'm on, just subscribe, hit the bell, that little notification bell. It'll tell you when I am on live. In other words, don't forget to remember where your source is and who your source is, right, Abigail? If you're still there. And you'll understand if you go back and watch this video. You'll understand what I mean by that. And we will see you next week, or no, on the 20th for the full moon reading. Take care, guys. Thank you all for coming in. This has been a lot of fun. I loved it. Please come in and say hello anytime when my readings are live. All right. Take care.